Hi there. Welcome to Monday's class. This is the Fit Chicks Accountability Club with Coach Roz, and we're rocking and rolling through Monday's class. Today we're going to be talking about something around well-being. And it's going to be a little bit different because well-being is such a personal topic. I'm going to kind of bring into the play here what I've heard a lot of my clients talk about when it comes to well-being, but I also want to hear from you. What are some things that mean well-being for you? But before we do that, I'm also going to talk about what is well-being and why it's so important, why I call it the glue that holds everything together. Okay? So, awesome, awesome. Yes. Okay. So, what's well-being? When I think about being healthy and happy, when I look at what it takes when people are really successful at losing weight and maintaining a weight loss, they're doing three things all the time. They've made three things a lifestyle: fitness, nutrition, and well being. Depending on where you are in your journey of needing to lose weight, or you've lost weight and you need to manage some regain or lose some more, or just stay where you are, there's different pieces to fitness, nutrition, and well-being that matter more at different times. Okay, so it's never static. Weight maintenance and weight management are not static. It's a constant and continuous part of life. And so the fitness, nutrition, and well-being change as we change different decades in our lives. And so well-being, I used to call it different things. I used to think of well-being as changing your thinking. If you change your thinking, you're going to be able to accomplish your goals. I was in my 30s when I discovered that, and it fit my personality. Then I realized as I've gotten older that well-being also is about what you um, do. So if you do things differently, you can have a sense of well-being. Then I've also discovered that how we feel also equals our well-being, so our sense of beingness. So well-being is a combination of things that might be around how you think, how you feel, and what you do, and how you do things. How do you know if something is really a well-being strategy for you? It leaves you better off in the long run. It makes you feel greater sense of oneness and peace with yourself. It lets you let go of saboteurs and sabotaging thinking. You begin to appreciate yourself. When something is from about well-being, gratitude comes up a lot. So well-being, it's not so simple as sometime I get my nails done so they look prettier. That's not a good thing. But when you're taking care of your well-being, it's something probably a bit deeper than that. Some people, it might be the foundation of their spirituality. For some people, they it's the religion. It just depends. But I will tell you, well-being is the glue that holds your weight loss together. If you're only focusing on fitness and nutrition and not doing the inside of your body work, your weight loss will not last. Your motivation will wane. All of a sudden, you will just have stopped working out. All of a sudden, you're just eating like crazy foods and back off of a wagon that you were trying to get on. Because well being is the glue that holds it all together. So that's the definition. That's a way of thinking about well being. So now, what does it mean practically? I'm going to stop here for a moment because I'm echoing and I want to be sure that you can hear me. There's a couple people on the phone. Is it coming across okay?
Strategy.
staticky.
We can hear you twice.
Yeah, it's an echo. So I'm going to pause and let's see if I can fix that. So give me one second here. Okay. My quick fix didn't fix it. Hold on one second. One more thing. Okay. Oh, it's still bad. Let's see. All right. Well, I might. If it's really bad, I may have to re-record, make it a shorter version of this. Technology does what it does. I love technology, and sometimes it lets us down a little bit. Sometimes it even fails. But I do believe life is better with technology. So I'm going to keep powering through. And if it's really, really bad, you're going to let me know. And I'm going to do a little bit of a re recording of this. If I need to check in with you, or personally, I will to make up for this. So that's what well being, how to think about it, the perspective around well being. So now, what is well being? How does it look? What happens with well being? On if we have to kind of think of it as a rung, some rungs or steps that found a pyramid, the base of the pyramid is basic comfort, physical comfort. It's very hard to be in well-being if you're over cold or you're over hot or you're just your physical environment. You have a headache. So part of it is getting your physical place in line to give you well-being. I worked with the client. She comes to me, and we usually coach on this really deep level stuff, right? Then I just happened to ask her, well, how's your sleeping going? Because she said something about how she was feeling. We ended up coaching on how to sleep better, down to, will you go get a bed today? And she's like, okay, I can do that. So her physical environment where she was sleeping mattered that much because it does. So physically, are you comfortable? This is where wear the clothes that are comfortable to you. Wear your hair the way that's comfortable for you. Get comfortable in your skin, in your body. Like, are you in a comfortable place? It is worth the investing to be physically comfortable if it's necessary. Buying a new bed, buying a new sofa, getting better shoes. If I really want to keep working out, I need to not buy shoes that are $20 because after a while, my bum, my feet are going to hurt, and then all of a sudden, I'm going to stop working out. It happens. So, bottom level kind of comfort. Then, when it comes to your either mental or emotional, there's not, these are not one above the other. It's just more how you're wired. So, we're going to come to that one next. So, after your physical environment, it's then also now your actions. Do your actions promote well being? Actions that promote well being would be smiling, literally smiling in your own house, even by yourself. Actions that promote well being are taking deep breaths and relaxing your shoulders. Actions that promote well being would be sending someone a thank you card, volunteering someplace. These are physical things that can promote well being. Going for a walk, exercising, actions that promote well being. So this idea of smiling, hugging, physical touch, Those are actions that promote well-being. You can give your time away and volunteer, send thank you notes. I know a woman who actually she sends the thank you notes or the we're praying for you cards from a church because she can't go to church. But the prayer requests that come in, she gets 10 of them every week and she sends them out over the week and then she gets 10 more. And that's her part. But that's actions that promote well-being. How do you know your action promotes well-being? It's expansive. It actually connects with somebody else. It helps someone. It touches someone. It means it puts you in connection. Now, some people don't like people. We have another client in the studio. Her name is Sherry. She's not a big people person, but she loves her dogs. Now, she doesn't own the dogs, but she has trained dogs to be service dogs. And she started a service dog ministry at her church. So you talk about her dog, they call it the Naomi Mission. She's all about that, and that feeds her soul, and that gives her a sense of well-being. So the doing. Now we're going to go to emotional and mental. I'm mindful now because I know how I approach the world one way, but trust me, it doesn't make it the right way. You can approach the world either way. It's just how you're wired. Emotionally approaching the world or mentally thinking about the world. I will say though that a lot of women, though we are seen as emotional, we actually are not in tune with our emotions because we rather not have bad ones. So we do things not to feel bad emotions. So what would it look like if your well-being in your mind was on target? Some people can't handle watching negative shows because it helps them think negatively. I actually cannot watch the news. It interrupts with my spirit, my mental spirit. It makes my thinking just sound harsh and negative in my head. So if I'm going to look at the news, I'm going to read it and not watch it. But that's a small level thing. Mental well-being is affirmations. That's the top of the chain, really. Can you say these affirmations to yourself every day, saying them out loud, mentally practicing thinking a certain way? And so I've had some clients, we talk about using structures. And what happens is people will think, I can't help the way I think. You may not be able to help the thought that comes in, but you totally can control how often you let it repeat itself, if you let it stay or not. So getting mentally tough is a form of well-being. Hearing the negative talking that's coming, like how bad you are, how much you don't get it, how big you are, how I'm in trouble, all those negative thoughts, they may come in, but we have to challenge them. And you can practice that, and that will help your mental well being. I do know I'm stronger mentally when I have reinforced my thinking with some good stuff. So reading inspirational quotes, reading an inspirational book, a book that talks about resilience or getting through things. Those stories matter to me. They kind of build my thinking up. Okay, this is possible. Saying positive things to myself. Yeah, it's possible. It's hard, and I can do it. That's actually one I've said for 17 years. This is hard, losing weight and keep it off, and I can do it. So that mental toughness, having affirmations. This is also where visioning boards can work, where you look at things that, get your mind thinking a certain way. The emotional thing, I was not as good at this in my 30s, in my 20s and 30s. I'm not naturally wired to it. I didn't appreciate what it meant to be emotional well being because I thought it as emotional versus emotional well-being. Emotional well-being is knowing what I'm feeling and being okay with it. Knowing what I'm feeling lonely, I'm feeling antsy, I'm feeling disconnected, I'm feeling like I'm by myself, I'm feeling, those are my words, how I can feel. And when I want to be more well in my well-being emotionally, I need to know how I'm feeling so I can then do something to work with that feeling. So I have this feeling of loneliness. I'm lonely. Oh, that's okay. I want to be emotionally well So I need to go, I'm going to go talk to somebody. I'm going to go get in a relationship with somebody. I'm going to send somebody a text. I'm going to go to a meeting. But if I don't know how I'm feeling, I will never address my mental, my emotional well-being. So how do you know your emotional well-being is off? Is if your talk to yourself and how you do life makes you sad about yourself. You don't actually do the things you want to do for yourself. You make trade-offs that compromise your personal comfort and your physical well-being. You actually don't practice and make progress on goals. It's a lot of times goes back to what are you feeling in the moment. And so often it's 90% of the clients I have in the studio as well as private, we can knock out get all the questions that are in the world can get fixed around eating and working out. And when we talk about what's happening, what's your best self? What do you dream for yourself? What do you think God wants for you? Oh, that's like some secondary thought. We don't want to talk about it. It's things like I just want to be a certain size. I want to be this weight, as if that's going to make you happy. So nothing about the outside of us, nothing controls how happy and at peace we are inside. Our healthy happy is not determined by what we weigh, how we look, how we feel. Do I want us all to be healthy, happy, and that means a certain weight and losing 10% of our body weight for some people, working out? Yeah, 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 yeah. But remember I said this well-being is the glue that holds together. So we can spend all our time getting to a point. I've lost weight, period. But there's nothing static about weight loss. And if we don't learn how to be well in our well-being, do it well, we gain the weight back. Something takes us off our game. We get sad about something. New stressors come. Schedules change. Life is difficult. And all of a sudden, we're not motivated anymore. Well being is the glue that holds us together. The top level of this, I would say, is a spiritual well being. Spiritual well being says you are not alone. There is someone who loves you. You are made in this image. And so I go to these meetings where they say a God of your understanding. I'm like, that's God. Like, I don't get it. So I use that word. If that doesn't sit with you, put another word in there if you want to, whatever you want to do. But spiritual well being is at the top of this thing because it means you clean the inside of the cup. And why do I say the inside of the cup? There's a scripture that talks about how Jesus came, and all these Pharisees who were the religious leaders of the community, they were doing all of these things that looked really great and religious, and they talked about God, how much they loved God, and they did stuff that people could see. And then Jesus said, it's the Pharisee, because the inside of your cup is still dirty. They were hateful, they were vengeful, they were not generous, they didn't walk in gratitude. And so God rejects that. And since I know God rejects the outside and how things look, I know He doesn't care about my flabby skin. He does care if I have flabby skin because I'm overeating, because I have lack of spiritual peace in my life. He does care if I'm under exercising because I'm letting softness and kind of demons around. Oh, I don't have the time to do it. Take over me. He cares about those things. He doesn't care if I have belly flap. Trust me. But the inside of the cup is what matters. So, personal part here. I wake up this morning. I'm like, okay, time to go on the scale. I look at the scale. I'm like, okay, I'm not surprised. It is up. I'm like, okay, all right, it's up. All right, what's it up for? It's up because I've been overeating. And so I've spent the day in this kind of quiet reflection as I've gone through my day, listening to what it has me overeating, what's going on. I've been overeating probably for 6 weeks, and it shows up about 6 weeks later. So I'm not surprised. This is why some clients get off track completely. They go, "Oh, I went crazy this weekend. I didn't gain any weight. Yay. Then they go crazy the second weekend and they don't gain any weight. But then by the fourth weekend, like bam, 10 pounds. They're like, oh, it's not working. Well, no, your overeating caught up with you finally. That's how it happens. But so I'm looking at the past 6 weeks, and I'm going to feel what I feel. So I feel a sense of grief, some sadness, like man, oh, phooey. I really have been deceiving myself about how much I've been overeating the last 6 weeks. Okay, looking at some things. Okay, what did I get in the habit of doing? Why was I doing that? And really trying to figure out my feelings around all of this. And it's hard because I usually want to go to what was I doing? What was I thinking? I need to figure out how I was feeling. When I get aware of that, I don't have to do anything first. I just got to get aware of what's happening with me. That awareness then will lead to execution. So my intention starts with awareness and then execution. And there's so many tools in my toolkit. I don't have to get frustrated. I just go open the toolkit and let me pull out this one, and this one. We put it in place for 30 days, then 30 more days, and then 30 more days. And on the other side of that, I'll have another breakthrough. And that's been the story of my life for the last 17 years. Lose weight. Oh gosh, I'm up. But what's not the same is I don't keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. Like I'm not back to 240, then 250, then 260, then 270. So being up, 10 pounds from my lowest weight, and I'm going, oh my gosh, now I'm up 5. Uh, those are numbers. I have to keep working my plan, fitness, nutrition, and well-being, because I trust it, and it says this is my recipe for not being 200 pounds ever again. Not even 270. I mean 170, 165. No, it's just not going to be there. So that's well-being. If you listen to this, I want you to give yourself an assignment to go Google the word well-being and see if you have a definition of for yourself of what that looks like. I would also figure out which one do you not do so well as well. And just spend some time thinking about that one. When I say this, which one is the doing? You don't do things that promote well being. This would be somebody who smokes, who overdrinks, who it could be the thinnest person, but they're addicted to sugar. So the doing of their life. If you know that doing is really the hard part, I had a client that she just liked torturing herself by working crazy hours. And she just couldn't stop. I'm like, that's just, you're doing what? And she was the most spiritual person, loved life a whole bit. Or is it the thinking? Is your thinking so crappy, stinking thinking, as Joyce Meyer always says? Or is it that you don't really know how you feel? And you don't even think about your feelings and you work on avoiding them. It's not a sense of gratitude going through your life. Which one of those could you use the biggest breakthrough in and begin to think about that? And ask me a question about it because I will have an idea for you. I really will. And you can send those questions, of course, to the inbox connect at coachrossharris.me. So I'm going to stop there. About 5 minutes left. And I know it's been a little scratchy, so I've tried to speak a little slower. And I hope you've been able to stay tapped in. And if you have a question, I can take a question right now. If there's any question on the phone, you don't have to have a question, but if you have one, I can take it.
I don't have a question, but I think you fixed it because it went away.
Awesome.
The echo?
Yeah, thank you, Brick House. So I could have stopped talking so slow and making everyone irksome. Like, why is she talking so slow?
That was good.
Awesome. I love you guys. So my life is super full on purpose, and each part of it is an opportunity to hopefully serve and show up in your life. And I love this accountability club. And so I just know it's a blessing. And at the same time, if it's not a blessing for you, go do something else. It's okay. I'm going to be in your life for those who need me in their life. And if you need to hop out, then hop back in. It's okay. And so I'm saying that because someone on office hours on Saturday said, I have this goal that I keep not meeting. I'm like, stop, kill the goal. She was like, oh, like, pick another goal. It's okay. So I had a client who hopped into the accountability club. It worked for her. Like, okay, then she hopped out. It's okay. And you may have to hop back in. But what I do know is that when we think we can do it on our own, if you hear yourself saying, I can do this on my own, it is a lie, period. Because it's not true. With that, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to get the recording sent out to you over an email for hopefully the last time, because I should be able to launch the new website, which will give you one place to go to get the links to various classes and office hours. Hopefully, I can launch that on Monday when we come back together. Office hours this Saturday. I need to announce that time to you, so look out for an email for that. And other than that, have an awesome rest of the week. Post in the tracker. Some of you have fallen off on the tracker posting and the reposting of your progress. You may not think I'm looking at it, but I am. So keep it going. With that, you have a great rest of the day. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.